What's up? Oh my goodness. We're recording. All right. So originally the idea for all of us to meet tonight was because we had a few complaints yesterday about people wanted to be able to do more damage to the Rancor, and the raid schedule wasn't working for everybody. And we were going to talk about that. The reason that our raid schedule was the way it was because of how the Zeta Vader solo worked. Now, as of the patch that came out a couple hours ago, it doesn't work anymore. So the entire thing is a moot point. It doesn't really matter.
What?
They just nerfed it. So I will not be hopping in and soloing it for us anymore, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that we can't beat. I'm pretty sure, given our damage output, we can still beat the T7 Ranker. We're just going to need to make sure that everybody is actually getting in and attacking it, and not just tagging it for 0 and forgetting about it now because we can't solo it anymore with Vader.
I mean, I can only do like 60 grand if I'm attacking on the pigs, so I mean, I can just wait for everyone to clear that part, because then I can do 200,000 or something. I know it's not much, but at least I can do something.
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I can tell you, Jake the Great, he's the one that was setting up the pigs so that we could go in and solo at the end of the pigs with Zader, and he does, just his clones do about 80% or more of the pigs. So that's most of phase 1 taken care of right there, just from one team. And he has a full 5 teams, some better than others. I don't know what the capabilities of Zeta Vader are going to be anymore. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a full phase with them. I mean, it's still 20% TM reduction coming out of everybody on my team. I imagine I'll still be putting up really good numbers. It's just not going to be a solo. We're going to have to see. So tomorrow, I believe, we're going to have the raid tickets that we need to start another raid. And we'll start it at 9 o'clock. And I think, if it's okay with you guys, we'll just go in and we'll just start cranking away at it and see what it's going to take and if we're going to be able to do it. It'll be kind of experimental. How do you guys feel about that?
I like that.
Okay. Yeah. I have I have a maxed out, obviously, Empire team, and then I have my maxed out Rebels. And Rebels will do a very large amount of damage to the Rankers. So I think between that, yeah, if we disintegrate the Ranker really, really fast still, then we'll just do exactly what we were already doing, but without the restriction of it won't be as restricted, I guess. We won't worry about if, I accidentally tagged a pig, big deal. It doesn't matter. So that's what we'll do. I think that'll be fine. But for tomorrow night, we're just going to go in at 9 o'clock, kick the thing's ass, and see what we are capable of. Because that's the only thing I know to do.
If a good majority of the guild is able to put out at least 100,000 damage, my thought is if you multiply that by how many people are able to pull that off, we could probably kill it within the 2-day period.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem is that you don't get to refresh your teams. So it's you got to get everything you can out of your best teams. No, your teams, they don't come back.
Well, okay, forget what I just said.
That's what makes it a heroic, is that you go in, once your guys are dead, they don't get to go back into that raid.
Would limiting the 0 damage time help you guys if you're having trouble? Say go to 12 hours instead of 24?
Well, okay, so let me just explain how Zader worked before today and why we did things the way we did. So as you guys have seen, I was capable in Zadist. Well, we were both capable of soloing the Ranker in about 20 minutes, give or take. The way we did that was we had Jake the Great get on. He would do about 80% of phase 1. That's why we had him go in, clear as much of phase 1 as he could with his clones. And the way the bug worked with Zader that they fixed was that as you moved through the phases of Rancor, the turn meter reduction got multiplied by the number of phases you went through. So by the time you were at like phase 3, instead of reducing 20% turn meter, you're reducing 60% turn meter every time you got that to trigger. So, I mean, that's what they fixed today, and that's why we needed to go in at the end of phase 1. So that's the whole reason our raid was structured the way it was to take advantage of that bug so that we could very quickly do the ranker and everybody could get the best possible rewards. That's what it comes down to. Since they fixed it, we don't need any of that structure anymore. And that's why we're going to try tomorrow at 9 o'clock to just open it up to everybody. Everybody goes in and see what we can do.
All right, I'll be home. I'll get some hits in. I mean, I'm not going to be. This is Firefox, by the way. I see Bader has the same little lack of a photo, but
I can see.
I can't do much damage, but I'll get some licks in.
Hey, get in there and do just as much as you can. I don't know if you heard me say with heroic, once your team is dead, you don't refresh. You can't go back in like the next day and do it again. It's just that's it.
Right.
So if you say you put out better damage in phase 2, go ahead and wait till phase 2 because we'll get through phase 1. I guarantee phase 1 goes down in half an hour tomorrow night. It'll be gone. Well, that would be terrible. I mean, unless Jake just refuses to go in with his clones, it will go down really fast because his clones melt those poor pigs. So that's why we were doing things the way we were doing them, and how we're going to try to do them in the future. We will see how fast the ranker goes down. If it goes down very, very quickly, we will add a 0 damage period again, maybe only 12 hours, like Guard said. Maybe we'll go back to 24 to make sure that everyone can tag the ranker. And that's, that's it. That's it. Does everybody feel happy with that? Since you guys actually came to the voice chat, you can voice your opinions. If, hey, I want to do something else, let me know. We can work on it.
Yeah, I like the direction we're going. I'm mostly curious about team structure at this point. Like, since the Zader teams are not useful anymore, who's like best to focus on? I've been told Tebow, and I've been working on Tebow, but I'm just curious to know who else.
Yeah, so Tebow, Qui-Gon Jinn, Rex, Fives, basically anybody that reduces turn meter. All the turn meter guys are really, really good on the ranker. Tebow teams they're still solo capable. If I don't have a Tebow team and I'm not going to invest the money it takes to get a Tebow team built up. So it's going to be months before I can finish that.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah, please do.
Hey guys, I'm lurking. I saw there was a party and I was kind of hurt that I wasn't invited, so I just invited myself.
Sorry.
Hey guys, sorry to hear about the Zader fix. I know you guys kind of framed your raid off of it, but I'm optimistic that your leaders are going to fix it for you. But quick note, I heard the Tebow question. I have been running a Tebow team for a long time. And the easiest, quickest way that I have found that to work is with Tebow lead, Qui-Gon Jinn, Phasma, and Wigs. If you aren't familiar with the term Wigs, that's Biggs and Wedge. A lot of you probably have those tunes. And the way you balance that is you jack up the potency on Tebow as much as you can so that he removes the turn meter. He needs his basic to be Omega, and he needs to be the leader. And every time he is stealthed, he takes off 100% turn meter from that middle pig. That's just for phase 1, of course. After that, it's going to be more a raw DPS hit on the Rancor that you're going to want to work towards. So that's going to be like your Geonesian soldiers, your Rays, tunes like that. But for that phase 1, if any of you have any questions on how the mechanics of that work, I know that very well, and I can do that thing in my sleep. And I solo phase 1 and halfway through phase 2 with my team right now. Qui-Gon Jinn. And when you're running that, just a couple quick. If you guys want to hear some attack strategy,
Sure, yeah. Go for it.
I don't want to blow up your chat, but I just love this game. So when people are talking about it, I just got to join.
I think it's obvious.
But
Oh
God,
man.
are we gonna have this conversation again? If you guys haven't noticed on the chat, I'm kind of the Jedi guy in the community. I've been prophesying the Jedi meta for a long time, and it's coming. And I feel comfortable saying that it works fine for me because I'm finishing number 1 in my arena every day with my Jedi team. So suck on that one, guard. All right, so attack strategy with that Tebow team. And now again, it was mentioned that 5s and Rex can be used too. I'm not as familiar with how that works. I do know that 5s is good for his speed down and Rex is good for his turn meter reduction. That's about all that I know, so don't ask me about that. But what you want to do is right away when you go in with Tebow, Wiggs, Phasma, and Qui-Gon Jinn, is take out the 2 side pigs as quickly as possible. And then if Tebow gets a turn in there, try to avoid those side pigs and try to keep the turn meter for that middle pig down. Every time Tebow goes, if he's stealthed, you need him to do his basic so that he removes the turn meter. Qui-Gon Jinn, it's going to be tempting for you to use his big attack on the middle pig, but the reality is that basic is all you need because his basic is the one that removes turn meter. And a lot of times you can rock the middle pig over and over and over again if Qui-Gon Jinn is able to land a little turn meter reduction, because that will let Tebow jump him on the turn meter gain so that you can get your hit in on him. And when Tebow hits him when his basic is Omega and his potency is good and he lands that hit to remove turn meter, he removes 100% turn meter. So it goes all the way down to nothing. Yeah, so Tebow does need to be carefully modded. The biggest thing that you want to find for Tebow is a potency cross. So the only mod that can have a potency primary is the cross. And that thing gets you like 20 something percent potency when it's a 5-dot mod. So that's the first thing you need. All of your Tebows need to have that. If you can, it's even better if you can find the potency set where you're farming those potency set mods. I forget. Does anybody off the top of their head know which squad you need to do the potency set challenge?
Yeah, you need Empire.
Empire. Okay. So if you've got an Empire team, you can farm those mods. Basically, you want to also look for a potency secondary that you can throw up there. Anything you can do to increase his potency. Now, I know a lot of people have their Tebow at gear 10, and that seems to work really well. I think that there is a gear piece that gives him a potency boost at gear 10. I want to say it is a stun gun or something of that effect. Maybe it was a Carbonti. I don't remember for sure. My Tebow is only gear 9, and he works great for me. The only thing that I could use a better Tebow for, and my Tebow's potency, by the way, is at about 76%, I believe, but I've got some pretty damn good mods on him. If you can get it even higher, then I might be able. When you get into like the 80% points for potency, which is where a lot of people shoot for, that's when you're able to remove turn meter from the Rancor. For most people, normal people like me, when you get to the Rancor, you're going to die pretty quick because the potency isn't enough to hit through that tenacity that the Rancor has. Where Tebow starts working, I would say you guys can throw him in as soon as he has about 50% potency. And to be honest with you, as long as he's quick enough, so be sure to put a speed arrow on him. As long as he is quick enough and as long as that potency is at about 40, I'd say 45 to 50%, he will be effective in phase 1. because you really don't need him to do any damage. You just need him to take the turn meter down. And then wigs, if you've got wigs, they just rock phase 1. Well, before I had wigs, by the way, I was running Dionysian Soldier and Ray instead. They work well also, but wigs, in my opinion, is a much more effective, quicker combo to use. So
Cool. Well, thank you for that explanation, Cubby. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So there you guys have it. I do know also, like I said, Rex is really good on a Tebow team. Fives, basically anyone that can manipulate speed and turn meter is going to be valuable. Jin Erso, if you have the right group for using her truncheon strike removes turn meter. So there.
Jin can solo the Rancor, to my knowledge. If any of you are looking into running a Jin team, talk to Roran. He's in Spaceballs. He actually just started running a Jin Rancor team, and he successfully soloed the whole thing the other day. Yep. Yeah, it's possible. You have to have the right composition, and you probably have to be higher level. But if any of you are looking into that, it's a great option. I think the attack strategy is a bit more specific. So reach out to Roran if you guys want to get some details on that.
Cool. So yeah, so there are options for us. But right now, Zadist and I, the guys who were soloing it, don't have these other teams built up to solo it. So that's just where we're at. But I do think that we just put out enough damage anyways as a guild that it's not going to matter. It's just not going to die in 15 or 20 minutes anymore. And that's not a big deal. Someone else just joined? Send
Definitely make.
Is that Fox?
I was just saying that'll make other people happy because now, kind of killing two birds with one stone here. We're solving that, the Rancor too quick problem as well.
Yeah, I don't personally think we can kill the Rancor quick enough. I want that bastard dead as soon as I go in there, but it's because I want those rewards.
I understand totally.
But I want to get everybody being happy
real
is
quick,
important.
Guys, I saw Senhex joined. If you're confused, man, this isn't a regular Q&A session. This is just for SPR to figure out their raid stuff. You're welcome to hang out if you want, though. I did.
Hi, Senhex. Senhex, do you have any? Oh, he left. Never mind. He's gone.
He's like, I'm out of here. These guys are crazy. Probably
So,
me.
do you guys have any questions for me about anything, really? You can ask me what I had for breakfast today. I don't care. I had a breakfast burrito. It was all right. It's just all right.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that. Some of you are probably already involved in the mentor program. I haven't looked at exactly who's here. If you are and you have any good experiences, success stories to share, definitely speak up when I'm done with my little spiel here. But we have in community a lot of knowledge. And if you guys have noticed that some of you are probably newer to the game, this is a game that is surprisingly complex and very intricate, and there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's very hard to progress well if you don't have advice and if you don't have help from somebody who's been there. I myself, if you guys know Mr. Doc in the guild or in the community, he's my first officer. He was actually my first mentor, the guy I went to who taught me about actually how to attack the Rancor with Tebow, who taught me about meta shifts and about how to get your arena rank boosted and all that kind of stuff. And for a long time, I really didn't have any direction in the game. I don't know if any of you feel that way, where you're kind of just farming whoever. It's hard to know what team composition you should be working for or what have you. Having a mentor helps a lot. And so we decided, because we've got so many people in this community that just really know their crap, that it'd be a good idea to have some people that are set apart as trainers, mentors, Jedi masters, whatever you want to call them, pair you with so you can have one-on-one help. And what we'd like to have is for any of you that are interested in that, just send me a direct message or tag me in a message in the Cantina or whatever, and just say you'd like a mentor. And what I'll do on my end is I'll put your name down and I will assign you to one of our trainers in community, and they'll reach out to you. They'll look over your squad. They'll ask you about your goals. They'll help you with attack strategies, with farming strategies, etc. So I would highly recommend it. I'm open to questions while I'm here. I actually have a second. If any of your questions on how that works or what some of the benefits could be, or if any of you right now, if you've been in the program and you have any feedback you want to give, but whatever the case is, we've got the resources and we're more than happy to help at the community level.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I got a mentor, and you put me on the right track. I've got a good arena team. I'm only level 9 now. I'm going up against maxed out tunes, and I win about half the battles, even so.
That's awesome.
And he's got me farming the right tunes to improve it even more. It's a worthwhile program. Anybody out there who might want a little direction about what to do in terms of arena, and I guess anything else, I haven't really asked about anything else yet. I'm still like the heavy farming stage, and the arena helps. Definitely look into the program.
Right on. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Firefox. And I think that really hits on that right there is exactly what we intend from the program. And something that I would say too is this game, it's fun no matter what. I love this game, but when you know what you're doing, when you feel like you have a grip on what direction you're heading in and what you need to work on, and then you finally get there, it's so much more rewarding to play when you've got that direction.
Yeah, it opened up like the whole game for me. It really did.
Yeah, exactly.
Arena is the most important chunk of the game, honestly. You get those crystals, you can save those toward any other thing that you need, whether that's gear or a mod or farming a new character out of shipments. That's where you get your big chunk of crystals. So being good there is really important. Now, does anybody else have anything to say about the mentor program? I will take that as a no. So that's all I have tonight. If Cubby or Guard wants to say anything else, that's great. I would like to have another meeting probably in like a few weeks to talk about working on teams for the tank raid and working toward eventually heroic tank. Maybe in 3 or 4 months we might be able to get there. I'm not sure yet. Right now we're taking it down in about a week. So
yeah, so through a conversation that happened, oh boy, was that a couple of days ago? I threw out the suggestion to Guard, and this is a good opportunity to bring it forth to everybody here. If now is a good opportunity to start considering working on teams for heroic tank. I know that I'm going to be volunteering my time to look at all of our .gg accounts after I'm done with my finals here, see where we're at as far as team compositions go, do my research, get familiar with heroic tank to see what the best course of action is. And of course, like in the state we're in, heroic tank is not anywhere close, but my thought is it doesn't have to be a very intimidating goal because it's so far away. If we're going to think about heroic tank, if we're going to start thinking about it, we can establish some short-term goals, work on character at a time, or get the guild organized so that, again, like I'm just kind of spitballing here, but we can get the guild organized so that some people can specialize in certain phases just so we can be efficient. But it's just something to think about. Just know that the officers in the guild definitely have it on their minds. Me and Guard have been talking about it. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Guard. If I forgot something important, I don't know.
Yeah, and what Guard's talking about there is SWG. You just type in your internet browser, swgoh.gg. SWGOH for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And it's basically a way to organize everything on your computer. So it will load in, it'll ask you for your player ID, and it will sync your squad, your mods, and everything to their database. So you can look at your profile, you can see exactly what tunes you have, you can track your arena rank over the last few months. And the tool that I find the most useful is their mod organizer, which allows you to search all of your mods. And it's not just the mods that aren't assigned to people. Well, one of the big weaknesses in the game is once you assign a mod to somebody, it kind of is lost unless you go into that tune and look at their mods. This will tell you exactly what mods are on which tunes, and you can search it by primary stats or secondary stats. The secondary stat search is really helpful if you want to, because if you guys haven't figured out, speed is the most important thing in this game, especially in arena. And the easiest way to speed up your characters is going to be to give them a speed arrow. But after that, you need speed secondary. So you can search for all the speed secondary you have on anybody, and you can move that speed secondary around accordingly. So that's a really useful tool as your guild leaders are going to start looking to get you guys ready for more competitive raids. But it's also super useful for you because that will enable you to look at stuff on your browser and search your squad and plan a little more effectively than you can in the game.
Yeah, it is a really good resource, and everyone should use it. Especially that mod thing, especially because the in-game mod thing is just terrible. It's so terrible. So that's the tank stuff, though, guys. And Fox, since you've already been talking with Guard about that, if you want to take lead on that in terms of starting to look at people's accounts and plan out the direction that you think we should be moving, people should be moving, I would like you to take lead on that, and then we can have an officer meeting in a few weeks after you've looked at some accounts and discuss how we want to break people up in the guild and to work on each phase and each team.
I'll make you proud, boss.
I'm not the boss, man. We're all the same. We're all the same. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate everybody that came and listened tonight. And hopefully in a few months we'll be taking down that tank, that heroic tank.
Yeah, impressive turnout for you guys. I didn't know you were doing this, but I saw all of you on here. I think it's awesome that you guys did this on voice chat. Keep it up.
Thanks, Gubby.
Good chat.
All right, guys. With that, I actually do have to get off here because I have some other things to do tonight. But everybody have a good night, and I'll see you on the game.